Welcome to my tiny tarot practice. I'm your host, Amelia Ruby, and this podcast documents my tiny tarot practice as I'm studying and learning the cards of the minor arcana, going suit by suit through the tarot. Today's card is the Queen of Pentacles, and I will admit at the top of this episode, just like I did with the Nine of Pentacles, that this is one of my personal archetypes that I've been working through in my life and especially in my business over the past 2 years. So it's a card that's very close to my heart, a card that I've spent a lot of time studying and archetypally embodying, and I'm excited to share it with you today. So in the Rider-Waite-Smith edition of the tarot, the Queen of Pentacles features a person on a throne in this lush, gorgeous garden-like landscape. There's a rabbit or a hare in the lower right corner of the card, and this person has a crown, has a long veil, and is holding a pentacle in their lap and kind of staring down adoringly at it as they sit on the throne. The Queen of Pentacles to me feels a lot like the Empress, a card that is about abundance, about nature, about nurturing, about flow. And where I think of the Empress as representing kind of all of that in the sphere of the divine, or perhaps how the divine or the ethereal or the spiritual or the abstract, all of that flows abundantly into the material. The Queen of Pentacles is finding all of that in the here and now. The Queen of Pentacles in her garden has earth, water, air, even fire, perhaps. We don't see it in the card, but I imagine it that way. And they all flow around and through her. I love how Rachel Pollack in 78 Degrees of Wisdom connects the Queen of Pentacles to the magician. And in that book, she says, where the magician manipulates the forces hidden in the world, the Queen of Pentacles joins herself to those forces, allowing them to flow through her into her daily life. So the magician, if you can recall, has one hand toward the sky, one hand pointed toward the ground. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's a card of drawing, magic down from above to below, perhaps pausing in our world as we live. But the Queen of Pentacles is just finding, again, all of that in the here and now. And that's only one of the reasons that I love this card so much. Jessica Dorr in Tarot for Change talks about the Queen of Pentacles, as I'm quoting here, having the unique ability to marry vision with physical action and portray values-driven action. And I think that for me unlocks one of the reasons that this card is a personal archetype and professional archetype of mine, because I really see the embodiment of our values as one of the most important tasks of our lives. And it's something that I'm always striving for, to articulate my values, to practice them, and to integrate them into all of my actions, to enact them. And so you might remember in my episode on the Page of Pentacles, I talked about kind of this journey through the court cards, from learning to practicing to integrating and enacting to being. And I think of that as the journey of the Page as learning, the Knight as practicing and acting, the Queen as integrating, and the King as being. And I think in this case, we're talking about the marriage of values, of vision, and behavior or action in the world. That's where the Pentacles comes in. You know, we're not in the element of air where it can all be our thoughts or our spirit. We're not in the element of water where it can all be our emotional or internal landscape. We're not even in fire where everything is immediately kind of sparking and potentially like burning out. We're in the element of earth where our bodies bring things to life and we're grounded in this beautiful, wonderful physical world that we live in amidst all of its challenges. It's not always beautiful and wonderful, I should say. But the Queen of Pentacles can sit amidst that and allow it to all flow through her. And I think she can also manipulate that flow. She is powerful. I shouldn't use she here. They are powerful. The Queen of Pentacles is powerful. I'm trying to unlearn gendering the cards in these ways. But for me, the Queen is just that moment of integration, the moment when our values integrate and suddenly all of our actions are imbued with them. We're able to feel it in our bodies. I don't know about you, but sometimes, I have a value and I know I want it to be true, and intellectually I agree with it. This happens a lot in my politics. We could use an example like abolition. Like, I understand the importance of abolition. Believe in abolition of so many things. And also sometimes I'll still feel a fear reaction in my body when, I encounter abolition in practice. And that's because it's not fully integrated yet, right? Like, I can understand the value. I can say that this is my new value, but that doesn't mean that I've unlearned all of the physical, emotional reactions in my body, that I've rooted out all the trauma of that I've really done the work to integrate it. And, I can learn it in the page, and I just have to practice and practice and practice with the Knight of Pentacles. We saw rooting deeper, right? I have to root down and root down and root down. And then with the Queen, it's integrating. And it's just such a beautiful, powerful, integrative practice. That's how I think of the Queen of Pentacles, where values meet action, where vision meets the world, and we're really able to show up, to show what we believe in how we behave. I love this card so much. Thanks for listening to me gush about the Queen of Pentacles. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to reference some of my favorite books and decks, you can head to the bookshop link in the show notes. If you make a purchase through that link, I will receive a small affiliate payment that helps me keep this podcast going. Thank you again for tuning in. I hope that you spend some more time with the Queen of Pentacles today, and that you find deeper ways to bring your vision to life in the world.